In this video, I'm going to be revealing everything that I know about manual sourcing. These sourcing methods have helped me sell £250,000 worth of products in July, making me a profit of just under 35k. Now, this isn't going to be your basic buy any night product on ASOS sales page advice that you might get from other Amazon FBA gurus online. This is a full-length manual sourcing course completely for free. I'll be taking you through all of the aspects of manual sourcing from the websites myself and my VAs use every single day, right through to the product criteria that I always check before making any purchases. And I'll even be showing you these methods in practice. So make sure to grab a pen and make some notes throughout this video. It genuinely has the power to change your life if you pay attention. So let's get into it. So before we jump into the details, let's just run through an introduction to manual sourcing so we're all on the same page. So what actually is manual sourcing? As the name suggests, manual sourcing is where you're manually going through a retailer's website, usually looking at sales, clearance sections, stuff like that, and trying to find products that are well below retail price to sell back on Amazon for a profit. Unlike automated tools and other sourcing methods, this involves just directly going through that website manually and analyzing each product, checking the listing on Amazon, and trying to see if there's any profit to be made. This is part of the wider business model that I do, online arbitrage, where you're literally just looking at other retailers' websites on the internet, literally searching hundreds of different retailers for potential deals and capitalizing on the difference between the price on that retailer's website and the price that it's going for on Amazon. You want to be focusing on products that are well below their regular retail price, usually 50% or more discounted from that price. And really the main advantage to manual sourcing is you're able to find deals that no one else really clocks onto. Because it is admittedly quite a time-consuming process that takes a lot of work, it means that the deals you find often just aren't picked up by other people because you're just looking in such an obscure place. You're not using any kind of automated software which other people have access to find these deals. You're just finding stuff the good old-fashioned way, which, though it's time consuming, is arguably the best method of sourcing. You're then using software like Keeper and Profit Go just to manually check all of those items, check the profit margins, the sales rank, see how much competition you're gonna have. Overall, just validating whether the deal is actually worth purchasing. So how do you actually do manual sourcing? To actually do manual sourcing, you've got to be really on it with checking lots of different products. You want to be checking like sales sections on certain websites daily. Retailers like Currys, Argos, Very are really good place to start, but the more obscure the website, the higher the chance you're going to find something that no one else is really clocking onto. At this point, everyone and their mum is kind of already checking Argos, checking the clearance sections. It's a great place to source, don't get me wrong, I've sourced many profitable things from Argos and had little competition. But if you can kind of be doing daily checks on lesser known websites, you're going to have a lot more success with avoiding other sellers. And that then just allows you to dominate the listing, control the price, and make lots of profit. I would say that there are a few just absolutely essential tools that you need to be doing manual sourcing. Chrome extensions like Keeper, Honey. Most software that you need can just be added as a Chrome extension to your browser, so you can add the Keeper and Profit Go Chrome extensions. That'll actually help you find the product listing on Amazon, check whether it's selling, check the fees for that item, see if it's cheap enough with the fees to make a good profit. Honey and Cooper are really good for finding coupon codes. That'll then literally automatically apply vouchers at checkout to see if you can get that product any cheaper. Top Cashback is another really good thing to be using. That could just unlock kind of extra savings at these retailers and get some more money back in your profit at the end of the day. SellerAmp SaaS is another good alternative to Profit Go, but I definitely recommend Profit Go over SellerAmp SaaS for kind of modern day sourcing. In terms of kind of the best stores to be sourcing from, places like Argos, Currys, Boots, Superdrug, they're all really good places to start. Even the really well-known shops have a lot of products that are just kind of completely different pricing-wise from the stuff on Amazon, meaning that you can make a lot of profit from those stores. They also have frequent sales, they have loyalty programs and stuff like that. Like Boots has got the Advantage card. It's kind of like a famous thing that most Amazon sellers have a huge Advantage card balance. Though that said, if you do ever have more than £100 in your Advantage card balance, get it spent, because trust me, you do not want to fuck around with Boots. I myself once got banned from Boots with 250 quid in my Advantage card balance. I was just kind of saving it up, but don't save it up. Spend it once you get it, because it's very easy to get banned from stores like Boots when they think you're ordering too much. Partly as well because they just want to reclaim that Advantage card points balance. I mean, it's 250 quid that they don't have to basically give you for free. So get it spent once you got these loyalty perks. In terms of kind of the worst sites to be looking at, just sites with kind of no discounts. Sites that just kind of have unreliable stock. and just kind of low trends with ROI, just bad brands basically. Sites that also just sell kind of like unbranded goods, like stuff that's either their own brand or just kind of the stuff you see on like AliExpress is not what you want to be looking at. You want to be looking at branded goods, retailers that sell a wide range of different stuff, and also just stuff that sells well on Amazon. You can also check my website, which is linked down below in the video description, for a list of 100+ different retailers that you can source from straight away. These are all from my own deal sheet, so you know you're getting a good load of information. And I've also got a whole bunch of other videos as well on kind of good websites to look at, so I'm sure there'll be a QR code or something on screen now for that video if you want to go check that out. Really, the key to it is you want to be spotting underpriced items fast. Look for kind of big discount percentages, look for bundle offers with different things. It's not something I've done massively myself because I've always steered more towards tech, but I know a lot of sellers that have made really good money getting bundles of beauty products, gift sets and stuff like that, and then just splitting those up and selling all of the products individually. That's a really good thing to look out for when you're doing manual sourcing, because it's something that a lot of automated software like Profit Path just doesn't really tend to pick up on. Price errors are also another thing to look out for. If you're looking at a retailer's website and they've got a product up for like £100 and every other retailer you know is selling it for like £500 plus, there's a very good chance that is a price error. No shop is doing sales that good, especially on like high ticket electronics like that. So if you see something like that, rush to the checkout, get as many units as you can get, and think about the resale later. Actually, that's maybe not the best advice. Obviously, check the resale stats first, but there's been products before where I've literally seen them, realized it's such a ridiculously good price error. Like stuff going for literally like a few pounds when it's worth like 100 quid. And at that point, even if you've got to sell it on Facebook or eBay or whatever, it's definitely going to be worth flipping. It's very key to just always be checking the price history on Keeper to confirm whether it's kind of a real deal or just kind of the regular price. You'll often see a lot of retailers say, oh, this is 30% off or 40% off or something like that. But the reality is on Amazon, it's been that same price the whole time, and it's just not really a real deal as such. Even Amazon themselves are guilty of it. If you're doing like Amazon to Amazon flips, which is separate to this video really, they often just lie about discounts. So now let's actually get into some deal analysis and what you should kind of be looking for and how you should actually check whether a product is actually going to be worth selling and yeah, just a good idea. So you're going to want to be really quick with your kind of deal analysis, your deal assessment or whatever. You want to be checking straight away 3 key things. You want to be checking, does it sell fast? Is it selling at least, 40, 50 times per month? You also want to be checking the ROI on that product. Does it offer at least, 25 to 30% ROI? Definitely as a beginner, ROI is so key, especially if you've got a low amount of capital to start off with. If you're working with less than like a few £1,000s, set a minimum at 30% and don't be tempted to go lower than that. You're also going to be wanting to check in what the competition is like, are there just too many sellers on that listing? You can use tools like ProfitGo and Keeper to verify all this in real time using the data that they provide. So yeah, you just want to be looking for kind of monthly sales, so you can use Profit Path to get all those estimates straight in front of you for any ASIN on Amazon. ROI, minimum of 25 to 30%. Obviously you can kind of adjust that for your own business, but as a beginner, as I said, I recommend just kind of sticking to the highest ROI possible. My sourcing, for example, is really ROI focused. If something is good ROI, I'm going to go a lot deeper on that product. I'm a lot more likely to kind of buy more units of that product basically. And in terms of kind of net profit per unit, you should be looking for a minimum of like £3 profit per unit. Obviously the higher you can go, the better. Depending on what you're sourcing, like if you're just sourcing cheap beauty products, you're unlikely to be making £10 profit per unit unless it's like perfume. But definitely other categories like DIY and tech, that's definitely not uncommon to be looking for. Your kind of red flags are high return rate items. So often you can see on the Amazon page, it will say frequently returned on the page. If you see that, just stay away. It's not worth the bother. Seasonal products are also not necessarily a red flag. Like you can definitely make money selling seasonal products. You've just got to be careful with when you're buying them. If you're shopping for, say, Christmas products, you got to be buying those in late August. You can't be buying them like mid-December, a week or two before Christmas, because it's already too late at that point. It takes a while for stock to be kind of checked in by Amazon, made available to sell. So just make sure you're planning far ahead if you are going to dabble in seasonal products, and try and not go too deep. Also, if there's just like no buy box activity, if it's just not selling, if the sales estimate is coming back as unknown or under like 10, 20 sales per month, it's probably worth just avoiding. Amazon also just kind of dominating the listing, being just consistently in stock at a low price is also a red flag to look out for. The best kind of listings are always where Amazon's either out of stock completely or they're in and out of stock, as that gives you a lot of opportunity to sell way above retail price because demand is obviously so high and they can't kind of keep up with supplying enough products at the kind of regular price or any sale prices. Keeper is your best friend in this situation. You want to become an absolute master at reading Keeper graphs. Amazon really does just come down to knowing how to read graphs and spending money on stock. It is honestly that simple. You want to be using the price history, the buy box data, and the offer count as well to kind of see the stability of that item, see whether it's a good purchase. I've done a whole massive, super long tutorial on Keeper and all the ins and outs of kind of reading Keeper graphs and stuff like that. So there'll be a QR code on screen now to go and watch that. Obviously, watch the rest of this video first, but if you're really serious about getting into it, that video is an absolute game changer. Competition analysis is also really, really key. You want to check the number of sellers using Profit Go and Keeper. Now, if you find a listing and there's 20 plus other Amazon FBA sellers and the sales per months are pretty low, just walk away. When you have too much competition on a slow selling listing, prices just go like that. They're just kind of going down and down because people want to sell out and get rid of that product at any price possible. And the key thing to kind of watch out for red flag wise on the graph on Keeper is looking for that rising purple offer count line and that decreasing pink buy box line. If you're seeing that, just walk away. So now I've covered kind of the fundamental basics. Let's do a little live demo. Let's try and find a deal and put in these tactics to use and yeah, find some stock. So to give you guys a bit of a live demo on how I actually do manual sourcing, this is the Ninja website. So Ninja is the manufacturer for all of these products, and for pretty much the whole time I've been doing Amazon, Ninja and Shark, which is their kind of sister brand for vacuum cleaners. There's so many deals for these brands. Like, I don't know what it is about this brand, but they just love doing massive deals. I guess because they make the products, they can just do them super cheap. And their website has always been a goldmine for me. So, you know, it's a bit of the secret sauce here. So yeah, let's go through the kind of deals and offers page and see if we can find anything. So straight away, we've got all these like different product sections. Now, I will just check through all of these, you know, for the sake of the video. There might be some bits that are sped up where I'm just not finding much, but it's a good place to be looking. They also do 4% cash back if you're not using any kind of newsletter codes. And even if you are, you still get 1% cash back. So we can just hit up there, click activate, and then get that cash back. And that's a nice little kind of boost to our profit. So yeah, let's get started. So I've just got the Profit Go extension running on the side here. This just means I don't have to run about kind of switching tabs, stuff like that. It's just all there in one screen. I just have to go through this page, basically copy and paste into Profit Go, and it will straight away give us the listing. It will tell us the estimated sales, but most importantly, it will tell us the maximum cost for our item. So straight away, in, you know, just looking at it, we can see straight away, is it cheap enough? So we've got this here, this kind of Ninja Woodfire thingy. I think this is the same product. I don't know if this is slightly different accessories wise. But yeah, it sells really well. It's great, but it looks like it's slightly cheaper on Amazon. So we'll move on. This looks kind of like the same thing, so I'll skip over that. Yeah, this one, it's not cheap enough, sells well, but yeah, not cheap enough. Usually as well, if you can't really see the listing straight away, like if it doesn't just pop up here, if you're looking at products that just don't appear, best to just kind of skip on to the next product. You know, it's not worth spending too much time. When you're manual sourcing, speed is kind of the key to it. You want to be kind of checking through as many different products as you can. You don't want to be spending too much time on any one product. One of the things I actually really like about Profit Go is, so this item here, obviously it's not profitable to sell, but it's out for $199 on the Shark website, or the Ninja website even. But if we scroll down to this reverse search feature, we actually see that on this website, it's going for $190. So we're getting an extra tenner off. And I didn't used to have this feature when I was using Seller App SaaS because it's something that's unique to Profit Go, but it's so good because it just saves me so much money from times where I think I found a good deal where it is cheap enough, but there is just somewhere else with it even cheaper. So it's a nice little kind of addition to your sourcing. And it also helps with manual sourcing because you could find something that's maybe not profitable on this website, but because you've searched for that ASIN, it has actually found it at another website for a cheaper price where it is then profitable. But as you can see it's a minus 19% ROI. We'd be losing money at those prices. Let's continue the search. Depending what it is as well, sometimes it's good to just use kind of the model numbers to search for stuff rather than kind of the full name. Just kind of gets you to the right listing a little bit quicker. Just going to skip over all of these deals as well because it says they're website exclusive, so I assume they're just not on Amazon. Obviously there's no point checking it if they're not going to be on Amazon, so we'll just kind of save ourselves some time. Alright, I think we might have just found something. So we've got this Ninja possible pot. I don't know who's paying this much for a single pot. That's crazy. But you can see there in the title CW202GYUK. That does indeed match that. So it's definitely the right product. It's matching model number. It's at $59.99 on the website. Now I've not even looked for any coupons. You know, there could well be like a 10% off coupon in my inbox somewhere for Ninja, but I'm not doing that yet. But even at kind of the current price it is, it's good. Sells 50 times per month at the £99 sell price mark. It looks really good. The only thing is the price history. It's not the best. So right now the buy box is at £91.51. So we're making kind of a low ROI. With these Ninja products, I don't know why. I just find they jump about in price so much. Like they just go all over the place. You can see here, but back in 2024, it was £79. Then for quite a while, it was at £129. Don't know who's paying that much for a pot, but people are, as you can see by the kind of monthly sold. So yeah, this could definitely be a good buy. This is probably one where we just have to kind of hold it for a bit. You know, it's going to be a case of, you know, riding the wave as such. We look at the all-time, so this was released back in 2022, and you can see it's been all over the place. It's been 99 quid, 129, sale price sometimes at 79 quid, but I can't ever see it this cheap on Amazon, which is a really good sign, obviously. So yeah, I think this could be worth the buy, even if, say a worst case scenario, we sell this for 79 quid. We're almost breaking even, obviously making a little bit of a loss, but I'd say that's our worst case scenario. If we just hold out, ride the wave, wait for that £99 price mark, which it often does go to, we could be making a good little profit. So yeah, it's really good. Let's have a look at this one as well, because I think this is the same thing, just in a different color. Might be a second ASIN that we can then sell. So yeah, so this one sells a little bit less than the grey one, but still seems to sell. So this does 17 times per month. The buy box on this is currently £106. So this one's possibly slightly better profit and ROI. And then yeah, it looks like it does the same sort of thing price wise. You can see it's got a long history of just jumping up and down, you know, points where it's been at 76, 77 pounds, 79, but still never been this cheap on Amazon. It's never been 59 pounds. It's always jumped up at some points for 129, and still got some strong signs of sales here. So I reckon it still does sell at these kind of high peaks. Definitely not as much. I wouldn't want to go too deep, especially on this particular color, just because it sells less than the grey one. But yeah, all looks good to me. And we can see as well, if we scroll down to the reverse search feature I was talking about earlier, you can see other websites have got it at 129, which is really good because Amazon checks other retailers for pricing to kind of gauge what price a product should be. And so if other retailers also had this at 59 quid, if you were selling it for more on Amazon, there's a chance they could remove the buy box, which just means that you might get less sales on the product basically. But it's a really good sign that other retailers have got it at 129, because if you're selling it for like 109 or whatever it was in the buy box, 106 I think, on Amazon, they're going to perceive that as a really good deal compared to other retailers' website and push that product more. So yeah, straight away, I'm already just halfway down the page, already found a couple good ASINs to be selling. It really is that easy. And if you're stuck for kind of places to look at, again, I've got the big list of retailers down in the video description that you can kind of sign up and get. And that'll give you a really good starting point for what sites you should be looking at for deals and what sites will have good kind of sales just like this. So now you've seen the magic in action, let me give you guys a few manual sourcing tips to kind of increase the amount of deals that you're actually finding. So first up is stack rewards. So always you want to be stacking rewards. Use Top Cashback to get money back on your purchases, just like I did on that Ninja site where I was getting 4% back. Let's say, for example, those pots that I found, right? It was 4% cash back and we buy 5 of each color. That is 23 quid back in our bank account for like no extra work. It's absolutely a no-brainer to sign up. In fact, let me put a QR code on screen now. If you scan that and sign up with Top Cashback, I think you get a little bonus on your kind of spend if you're not already a customer of theirs. And you can combine Top Cashback with other retailer discounts and get huge savings on these products. I basically live off my Top Cashback at this point. I try and spend as little of my profit as possible and just live off that extra bonus. I never factor in Top Cashback into the actual cost of the item. You know, for me, those pots are $59.99. They're not minus 4%. Just because cashback sometimes doesn't pay out and it takes like 12 weeks to pay out at some points. But at the end of the day, It's free money, it's worth waiting for, so get signed up for that if you haven't already. Another really beneficial thing is if you can get access to kind of other discount methods. So these are like NHS discounts, student discounts, blue light cards. All this stuff can give you that little bit extra discount and are perfect for stacking on top with kind of regular sales. Obviously, every site is different in how they handle NHS discounts. Some don't do it at all, but some websites are very, very generous with how they allow you to kind of combine these NHS discounts with other sales, which can get you stuff that's so ridiculously cheap that sometimes they might just even cancel your order because it's literally too cheap. They're making a massive loss on it. I've spent a lot of time on the HP website, for example, stacking the NHS discount, stacking sale codes and all this stuff. And about half the time they actually don't cancel my order. So it's definitely well worth trying if you know the kind of tips and tricks around that sort of site. But it's crazy how cheap stuff can get once you like stack in all these different discount codes. Another tactic I've actually only been made aware recently, shout out Aiden from my mentorship group, he's probably watching this now, hopefully. He told me about a site called EverUp, which allows you to buy discounted gift cards for a small percentage off. They've got loads of discounts on sites like Farm Foods, Argos, stuff like that. And you know, you'll buy like a £100 gift card and then you'll actually only be paying 90 quid for that. You can then combine that with the discounts the retailer's doing. You can also combine it with top cashback, NHS discounts. It's just, when you're like layering all these different discounts on top of each other, you're getting prices that it almost wasn't intended for people to actually like stack that many discounts on top of it. But that's exactly what you want for arbitrage. You just want to be getting stuff as cheap as possible because every penny that you save is basically a penny that you've made. A huge thing that we've actually just launched in the LiveCops Discord server is the LiveCops Genius. It's basically an AI bot that you can talk to on the Discord server that knows everything about Amazon. It's been trained on so much knowledge, everything from my kind of full supplier database to kind of just super niche knowledge about Amazon FBA that you can't even find on YouTube. And you can ask it any questions about Amazon FBA, but my favorite personal feature of it is the ability to ask it to analyze your deals. So this has never been done. There's not a piece of software in the world that does it to this kind of degree. All you have to do is tell it the ASIN that you're planning on buying, like the Amazon product code, and the cost price that you're getting it back, and it will give you a detailed summary back, give you a 1 to 5 score on how good the deal is, explain the points that it's checked and what you should kind of be looking out for, and just give you a total rundown on basically whether or not that is a good deal to be buying. Especially as a beginner, this bot is an absolute game changer because every small question you have 24/7, you can ask the bot and get an instant answer. And if you're ever uncertain on any product, you can ask it, and you can ask it completely anonymously as well, so no one else sees what products you're kind of looking at. And yeah, absolute game changer. If you're not in LiveCops already, get signed up. Another thing you want to be doing for manual sourcing, and this is probably the most important tip on this whole list, is you want to be building out an email list for retailers. So make a new email account just so your main inbox doesn't get spammed full of emails. And then you just want to be signing up to the mailing list for loads and loads of different sites. Ninja, for example, off the top of my head, they do like a 10% code when you first sign up to the newsletter. So assuming that you can stack that with that sale that we were just looking at, you'd be looking at an extra 10% on your profit margins. And really the name of the game is to be signing up to loads of different retailer newsletters and getting updates on all the latest sales across the internet. You basically just then get that insider access on those sites, which enables you to kind of just source quicker, find these items quicker, and just basically as soon as you get that email notifying you of a sale, you want to head to that retailer's site and start running through the deals. Can also be quite good to be a complete insomniac. A lot of sales often start at midnight or in the early hours of the morning. One of the LiveCops owners, Brooksy, he's always up at like 2, 3 in the morning. I personally can't do it. I need my beauty sleep. But he's always finding loads of deals at these sort of times, and also price errors as well. Because Argos might set something that's supposed to be 100 quid to 10 quid by accident because some employee has missed a zero because it's late at night. And maybe by like 7, 8 a.m. when the orders start flooding in, they're then going to notice. But if you place your order when it's just happened at 3 a.m, a lot of these places, they use logistics that are just running 24/7, so customers get their orders like the next day or same day. And when they're shipping orders that quick, these errors, if you're catching them before other people, they just kind of fly under the radar. And those orders will then get shipped whilst all the other people that woke up late and slept in, they're not going to get shipped. So if you're really, really dedicated, it's always good to kind of stay up late and set reminders to be the first on the scene, especially if you know about a certain product drop like Pokemon stuff or anything that's kind of going to go on sale and be worth grabbing. So there you have it. That is everything you need to know about manual sourcing for Amazon FBA. Honestly, this is one of the best videos I've done in a while on just sourcing, so I hope you've been taking notes. Manual sourcing is a really powerful method and one that I definitely recommend to all Amazon sellers. It's something you've got to get good at, as it's one of the best ways to beat the competition and find the deals where, there's just no one else to deal with. So as I mentioned in the intro, manual sourcing has helped me make 35 grand in profit from Amazon FBA just last month. But as powerful as manual sourcing can be, there is a limit on how many deals can be found per day. There's not unlimited hours in a day, and it can be very time consuming. Now, thankfully, the secret sourcing methods, which is just reserved for my mentorship students, offer a much more time efficient alternative, which finds deals that are borderline impossible for you to find with manual sourcing. On top of the secret sourcing methods, my mentorship also includes regular one-to-one coaching calls, access to my private leads channel where I'm going to be raffling off the most profitable products from my own deal sheet that I found, as well as my complete 10-hour video course teaching everything that I wish I knew when I first started selling on Amazon. So if you'd like to take the time and effort out of your sourcing, then click the first link down below in the video description and book in a free consultation call with me today. On that call, we can discuss where you're at with your Amazon FBA business, your kind of plans for the future, and just see whether you're a good fit for the mentorship program. Finally, make sure to like and subscribe if you found this video useful, and make sure to click up here to watch my video on how you can use software to easily make £2,000 a month on Amazon FBA completely on autopilot.